everyone. Good morning. I know what you're all thinking. The Easter Bunny doesn't talk. Well, he does today. I'm so happy to be here. And I can see from a distance you're all enjoying that excellent breakfast. So let's thank the boss and his team. I want to also thank our sponsor today, Allstate, for supporting us and putting on this breakfast. Thank you. Who doesn't love the Easter Bunny? The Easter Bunny's got a kind of deep voice this morning. He hasn't had a coffee yet. And I don't have my notes with me. Actually, I do. Where's the mic? So I've got 3 fun facts for Easter. Do you know that we produce 1.5 million Cadbury cream eggs every day? They're my favorite. We also spend in the U.S. $1.6 billion on Easter candy. That's a lot of sugar. And the third fun fact is, the Easter Bunny arrives on a fire truck in a parade tomorrow at Yankee Candle Village at 11 o'clock. And the sweetest of all shout-outs, the Williams Farm, for supplying all the maple syrup today you're enjoying at your breakfast. And at the moment, the Easter Bunny is super hot. So I got to step out for a minute. I'm going to turn it over to, I think, Jesse.
Can we get one more round of applause for the Easter Bunny? All right. Good morning, everybody. This breakfast is hopping already. We got the Easter Bunny. We got maple syrup from Williams Farm Sugar House. We got Adam's Donuts to give away a little bit later. And we've got some seriously sticky business to discuss. So, I'm so grateful you're all here. I love seeing this room so full. How wonderful was it to drive in and have the sun out already? Yeah, March is the first breakfast where I'm like, this is getting easier. We're doing it. So as you likely suspected, today's program features a fantastic sponsor in Allstate's Materials Group. Can we give them one more round of applause? Some truly wonderful speakers and so many puns. It's going to be fun. So, there are 2 things that make every event more fun. Free stuff and gambling. So here's what we're going to do this morning. We're going to up the ante. Throughout the breakfast, I'm going to make several sticky-ish bad puns. At the end of the breakfast, the person who can give me the correct pun count is going to win a dozen Adam's Donuts. How does that sound? Pretty good. Am I doing this just so you will hang on my every word? Maybe. Am I slightly horrified that I'm at a point in my life where this pun game is my idea of a good time? Absolutely. So with that, please join me in welcoming some new members. You can stand or wave when I call your name. Let's give a big new member welcome to Maria Rivera and Kemper Carlson from the Hospice of the Fisher House. Welcome to new member Donna Wisłowski of Alliance Partners Real Estate. Welcome, Donna. An old friend, but a new member. Welcome to Jody Howe of Between Trips Travel. Hello, Jody. David Erickson and Gallagher Hannon are here from Boxco Studio in Greenfield. And one quick little shout out, if you are looking for new cabinets, check out Boxco Studio. They are doing incredible work. And then Amy Morey is joining us from Amy R. Morey Insurance. Welcome, Amy. And if you are looking for new home insurance for your new Boxco Studio cabinets, talk to Amy. Attorney Ben Szymanski is joining us, representing our new members at the Franklin County Bar Association Community Fund. Welcome, Ben. And then we're gonna move on to first breakfast. So welcome to Joe Vidnace at Working Fields. Welcome, Joe. Andy Brooks and Rick Jorn are joining us from Franklin County's YMCA. Welcome. Welcome to my buddy Mike Sullivan and Jamie Walko for Community Action Pioneer Valley. A big welcome to Amy Watts from Curran and Keegan Financial. Hi, Amy. And Anna Palmieri is joining us from Cohen & Company Real Estate. And then last but certainly not least, John and Garrett are joining us from All States Materials Group. Hi, everybody. All right, welcome to everyone. We are so glad to have you here. We do have a couple of quick announcements. So normally we put it in the program, we didn't today. But we do want to share that our next chamber breakfast will be April 26th at Greenfield Community College, and we will focus on statewide and countywide economic development. We have invited the new director of the Massachusetts Office of Tourism and Travel, Kate Fox, to join us, as well as the State Secretary of Economic Development, Yvonne Howe. So they're going to share statewide priorities and updates. That's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. We don't have the registration link in the program, as I mentioned, but we will have it live on the website by the end of the day. So check back so that you can, meet our state officials with that fantastic early bird reduced rate that we all love. We will likely not be playing the pun game at that breakfast, so keep that in mind. Temper those expectations. If you are a Greenfield-based or Greenfield-serving business, this announcement is for you. The City of Greenfield is hosting a business listening session Tuesday night at the John Zahn Community Center. Hannah, is that 5, 6? 5. Hannah knows 5. That is in partnership with the Chamber and the Greenfield Business Association. We are requesting that you pre-register if possible. So that link is on our website. Feel free to do that. And if you read our latest newsletter, which obviously all of you did, you know that in addition to serving you as your Chamber of Commerce, we also work as your Regional Tourism Council. And to save time, long story short, things are going really well. Tourism is up 6% in the last fiscal year alone. I will talk more of that. Yeah, it's good. It's great. I will talk more about that at the next breakfast when our state friends are present. But I basically, in order to continue to build on that success, we want to enhance broad scope communication and collaboration with our key stakeholders in the tourism and hospitality industry. So if that applies to you, we would love for you to join us on April 3rd. It's a Zoom meeting. It's our first ever tourism and hospitality stakeholders just kind of summit, get together. We want to talk about the overview of kind of what our work is, our strategies. We want input from you as to how we can improve visitation. So that is something to be aware of. If you know someone who is in that industry, please encourage them to attend. The information for that event is on the back of your program. And then we did send out a standalone invitation last night. We did. Great. So along those same lines, I will be headed to Boston for the Governor's Conference on Tourism Tuesday, April 2nd, so the day before. We do have a couple of folks from the area who are going to attend. If that is something you're interested in, please join us. We can set you up with the information. We did put all of the information in the last newsletter, but you know because you already read it, right? Right. All right. Franklin County's YMCA is hosting their annual Healthy Kids Day on April 20th from 11 to 2. Healthy Kids Day is a free family-focused event at the Y that offers activities and vendors, and it's just a really great time. So if you are a business or organization that kind of caters to children and families and you're interested in participating, please talk to Sarah. Where's Sarah? Sarah, after the breakfast. You can also contact Maddie Oldenburg, and they'll get you set up with what that looks like. This year's event will also feature demos from the UMass women's soccer team and Boomer from the Springfield Thunderbirds. He'll be there, so you'll want to stick around for that. Well, it's definitely one. And then finally, Juneteenth is just a few months away. So I met with Empress yesterday, and she is on a mission to make this the biggest and best celebration yet. So if you are interested in joining Greenfield Savings Bank and the Chamber in the city and supporting and sponsoring that event, please contact Empress. There are a few flyers on some of the tables, but we can certainly get you more information. All right, that's it for, nope, I have one more announcement. Actually, I have two more announcements, sorry. First, Linda wasn't here last time when I made everyone clap for her for being a difference maker, but she is here today, so we're gonna do it again. Congratulations, Linda Dunleavy, who has been recognized as a 2024 Business West difference maker. We are all looking forward to going and celebrating her on April 10th. And then, do we want to talk about bikes? Sure.
Hi, I'm Audrey, Land Use and Transportation Planner at the Franklin Regional Council of Governments. So I'm working with my colleagues on the regional bike plan. We're updating it for the first time in 15 years, and we're currently in our public input phase. So you'll see these lovely little flyers on your table. There's a survey, an interactive map with once you scan the QR code with your phone. So if you could fill those out, and if you want to take them home, we have some extras, and yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Great, thanks. Audrey. Okay, so we made it to the sticky section. So as you know, today's lineup includes several successful business leaders representing different sticky Franklin County's industries. Our first speaker is Bobby Betzold from Allstates Materials Group. He has told me several times that I am not allowed to classify Allstates as a sticky industry or a sticky business, but I mean, okay. I am excited to have Bobby and Allstates crew here because they just do fantastic work. And I actually remember sitting here at a Allstates sponsored breakfast a few years ago, and Diana was talking about how Bobby had invited her to tour their Deerfield facility, and she got to, see all the operations and watch them detonate something. So, when I took the job, I of course reached out to Bobby's to find out how the chamber could continue to support Allstates, amazing growth and success, and then also find out what time we were blowing stuff up. And thankfully, that day came last June when Bobby invited me to tag along with Congressman McGovern and Rep. Blay when we got to tour that facility. And it is just wildly impressive, the work they're doing. And I can't wait for you to hear about it. So with that, Bobby Betzold.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jesse. So, first I have to thank Jesse because after we talked on this and I started thinking about this breakfast and the time of year we're at, it's only appropriate that an asphalt and paving company sponsor the breakfast in the heart of pothole season. So with that being said, the plants are opening starting next week. Help is on the way. The drive will get smoother, but only appropriate there in that regard. That being said, I want to recognize my colleagues that are here today and thank them. A big part of what we are as a company in the region. When Jessie called maybe 6 weeks or so ago and said, "Hey, I have this idea," and I think she might have used the word crazy, which some of my colleagues can appreciate because I do call them from time to time with crazy ideas. They probably respond the same way I did when Jessie called and said that. You're both excited and you also buckle your seatbelt. So you're not really sure what's coming, but only Jessie can tie together maple syrup, honeybees, donuts, and asphalt. If you take that game, one of these things doesn't belong. I think we're the odd man out in that equation. But that being said, as far as Allstates, 10.5 years ago, I left a job in big corporate and decided to go to work for a local asphalt paving company that I really knew not a lot about. I knew some people and didn't know what the industry was about, knew nothing about it. My second day on the job, I went with 2 industry experts who worked for us who had been in the industry for over 40 years. Took a drive down to UMass Dartmouth to meet with one of the top researchers in the industry and listen to them talk about asphalt for 3 hours. And after that 3 hours, I drove home, or rode home, and my eyes were fully glazed over, more than Adam's donuts. My head spun in directions I didn't know that it could spin. And apparently, though, something stuck. I'll play a pun. So something stuck. Because here we are 10 and a half years. Because here I am 10 and a half years later, and we're still going. I will say it's been a wild ride. I was talking a bit with one of my colleagues, John, this morning here. Him and I started pretty close to each other that season in 2013. We had a little under 300 employees at that point in time, and now 10 and a half years later, 12 acquisitions, 2 new facility builds, and we're pushing 750 employees and working across all the Northeast. So it's been quite the wild ride. So again, going to the what stuff. For me, I went from knowing nothing about the industry to now geeking out on the industry. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. They told me you'll know when you're in the industry because you'll know. For me, it was being down at the Masters, on the way there, driving at 5:30 in the morning with my father and my brother, and looking at the road going, what type of mix is this? I was in. So then you get those experiences. If you ever drive with someone in the asphalt industry, you'll be going down the road and go, how we paved this? It happens all the time. That's when you know you're in the industry. And I'm willing to bet pretty much every one of my colleagues has had that experience of being in that. Or it's when you're watching Jeopardy and you decide, nope, that clue actually was wrong. And you email them to correct their clue about asphalt. They did not respond. So that being said, I thought about how to kind of talk about the industry a little bit, and I figured I'd give you some fun facts. Maybe they'll stick around a little bit. But so first, a little bit of history. Asphalt as a product was first used by the Mesopotamians to waterproof their baths and their water tanks. The Phoenicians used it to caulk the areas of their ships and the seams on their ships. The Egyptians used it as mortar along the banks of the Nile for erosion control. The first road that utilized asphalt was in 625 BC in Babylon. So it's been around for a while. In the U.S., the first usage on a paved road was in 1870 in Newark, New Jersey. That was soon followed by Pennsylvania Avenue. And since then, things have just kind of taken off. Today, there's over 2.8 million miles of paved road, of asphalt paved road. With that, you could circle the globe almost 100 times if you take the amount of asphalt paved roads that are out there in the world. The other cool fact, and as we kind of look to today and a lot of the concepts around recycling and sustainability, asphalt is the most recycled product in the world. It is 100% recyclable. More than paper, more than glass, more than anything else, 100% recyclable. So as an industry, sometimes it gets a bad rap, but it is pretty cool to think about that. At Allstates, and kind of playing along those same lines, on average, in a given year, we recycle over 125,000 tons of asphalt every year. So when you think about the millings, you think about pavement, things that come back up, over 125,000 tons that gets put back out there. In addition, as far as some of the products, last year we recycled over 250,000 scrap tires. So tires that normally would have gone to a landfill that are recycled back into your roadways. Really, truly recycling. And the cool thing is, and thanks to people like some of our lab people who've developed different products, it's not just putting it in there and it's a way to get rid of it and hide it, it's actually improving the performance of the roadways as well. So a true win-win. Similarly, the equivalent of over 2.8 million plastic bottles were recycled through our facility in Deerfield last year. Again, a true recycling process, something we're very, very proud of. On kind of the chemistry side, I know Jesse alluded to some of this during the tour. Our facility in Deerfield specifically, we have over 40 different formulas for liquid asphalt. So, similar, I'm sure we're going to hear some about some of the grades. People know about grades of syrup. Asphalt, it's not all the same. Over 40 different formulations, kind of think of a paint store. And that's what cranks through there. Similarly, in terms of the mix types, and over 50 different mixes for different applications that are used. We had an opportunity to supply some materials for the Las Vegas F1 track this year, which was pretty cool and a pretty high profile project. So, you know, it's cool to be a part of those types of efforts and those types of things that are happening out there. I'm fortunate in my role in marketing to really have the opportunity to work with a lot of different stakeholders, a lot of different people, a lot of great employees, customers, industry organizations, both community and industry specific, and that's what makes me stick. Now that's what the daily grind. No 2 days are the same. One of the questions Jesse put out there was, "What's a typical day?" There is no typical day. Every day is a bit different, which is good, and that's what makes it really go. You know, being able to travel within the region, work with people within the region, but then go beyond. I leave Sunday to go to Nashville to the World of Asphalt conference. There'll be over 11,000 people there. Who knew there were that many people that cared that much about asphalt? But it's pretty cool the opportunities that you have. And again, when you get to that point that you're geeking out on things related to roads. You know, I was talking here, we are happy to have some raffle prizes today that are actually Allstate's branded maple syrup. Next year, Wade, if we can work on that asphalt scented candle every year, on April 1st, somebody in the industry puts it out there saying, "Hey, we've got the asphalt scented candle." No one's ever actually made it, so we'll buy the first batch if you can make it. That being said, it's exciting for us to think about where the future may go. You know, think about what the last 10 years have been. And, you know, I want to thank you again for the opportunity to be here. Thank Jesse, and look forward to listening to the rest of our speakers today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. So I would be remiss if I didn't bring up that on Monday we had the opportunity to welcome MassDOT Secretary Monica Tibbetts-Nutt, which is definitely the best name ever, to Franklin County, and that was led in primarily by FRCOG and Linda Dunleavy, and as well as with our Franklin County legislative delegation. And we gave a presentation of basically of all the infrastructure needs in Franklin County and the challenges we face being so rural, a population of 70,000, where the tax rate is 75% residential, and really asking the state's support and commitment in making those infrastructure improvements. And then we took a bus tour together to go through different Franklin County roads and back roads, and one part, what was that road? Green River Road. If you want to feel alive, take a bus up that road. I think they got the point. They asked, they're like, "Is this intentional?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, it is what it is." But I love that we not only obviously have those challenges, but we also have a local sourced company where we can offer the solution, and that is Allstate's Materials Group, and the amount of work they do. If you look at their logo, they're a little bit modest with their branding, but as soon as you start seeing their trucks, you won't stop. They are everywhere. So I want to say how grateful we are for their support today, and then also for all of the community initiatives they quietly support behind the scenes. So thank you again, Allstate. All right. This is really just a FRCOG Linda Dunleavy appreciation event, so thanks for coming to that. So next we have Chip Williams, who really is a chip off the old block. I bet I'm not the first person to say that. Because he and his family have been making and bonding over the boiler in Franklin County and making their famous Williams Farm maple syrup for 5 generations. You can taste the tradition every weekend at their Williams Farm Sugar House in Deerfield, but don't waffle. You can only get the season's best breakfast for a couple more weekends. If you follow us on Instagram stories, you know that I took my kids there last weekend in honor of Massachusetts Maple Weekend, and we got to watch them boil, and we broke all of my no sugar at breakfast rules, and it was awesome. So with that, welcome Chip.
Morning. Thanks, Jesse. Jesse said, my name is Chip Williams. I'm co-owner of Williams Farm Sugar House along with my 2 sisters. My parents, well, my dad still plays a big part in helping us out during the season, even though he's in Florida for the start of it. But we'll let that slide. My family's been making maple syrup in the area for over 150 years. We have records dating back. Someone in my family found old diary of one of my ancestors, and it was I think there was a entry from 1853 saying that he had made some syrup and he was going to bring it to Amherst to sell. So you know that's pretty cool. We were one of 13 sugar houses on Mount Toby in Sunderland back 1850s through probably the mid 1960s. Now there's no sugar houses on Mount Toby. So just to think about like 13 different sugar houses on that mountain, obviously much smaller than the sugar house that we have today. It's still pretty interesting. In the late 1960s or mid 1960s, my grandfather Kenny and his brother Milt moved their sugar house off of Mount Toby and on to Route 47 in North Sunderland, just realizing a need for a better retail location. We were up in the woods. Really, the only way you could get there was either with a tractor or a horse. At least that's what I've heard. I wasn't there for that. So moving the sugar house down on Route 47 made for just increased retail sales. As the years went on, our last move was to our current site in Old Deerfield, right on Route 5. We built that sugar house in 1994, and our first year of sugaring was 95. We also added breakfast meals that year, which really helped boost our sales, just to get people to come in, like Jesse's family, come see the boiling process, have some breakfast, and hopefully everyone will leave with a quart or half gallon of syrup under their arm as they head out. So traditionally we look to start tapping the trees. We'd look probably the week of President's Day. So as a kid, I always remember school vacation week in February. I'm going out with Dad to tap. We didn't go on a trip. We're out in the woods. As years gone by, we seem to be earlier and earlier. This year we started tapping February 5th, and we made our first syrup on February 11th this year. I feel like the season's definitely got an earlier start, and we don't seem to be seeing the changing in temperature, which we need for sap flow. We need warm days, cold nights to make the sap flow. So what we end up seeing is we'll almost see like a week of cold weather and then a week of warm weather, where it seemed in the past we would see warm day, cold night, and that's what we really need for sap flow. But now it seems to be kind of stretched out where we'll see chunks, maybe cold for 3 days, warm for 3 days. Just something that I've noticed, change and climate and whatnot. We are still tapped now. There are a lot of sugar houses in the area that are done for the season. We're hoping to get one last run. We had a great freeze last night, 20 degrees. We'll see what happens today. Sun, and we're supposed to get into the 40s. We'll see. We're holding out, hoping we might get one more run of sap so we can boil this weekend and just be open and be able to show some people how we make maple syrup. A little bit what I do around the sugar house. Like Bobby said, there are no 2 days are the same. I'll do a little bit of everything. Especially in the off season, I'll make maple candy, bottled syrup, make some maple cream, whatever we need. As we get closer to the start of the season, I end up spending most of my time in the sugar house. We've got a couple of buddies that do a lot of the work out in the woods. That's what I really enjoy is being out in the woods, working on the sap lines. It's great to get outside after being kind of inside, long cold winter. Maybe not so much this year, but Typically, it's great. Just get outside first, early signs of spring, and just get out and start working in the woods. As we get underway, I'll spend most of my time in the sugar house doing the boiling. Like I said before, my dad, he goes to Florida for the winter and usually comes back March 1st. So anytime we make any syrup in February, it's up to me to do any of the boiling. And when he gets home, he kind of takes that over, which is great. It's great help for me. I have a full-time job along with my two sisters, so it's kind of a side hustle that that we do, and just having extra help from family and friends is really priceless. My sisters, Kelly and Casey, handle the restaurant side of things. The serving of the meals, making pancakes, waffles, what have you. They come out every weekend on Friday. They take Fridays off during the season, come out and prep for the weekend, and then they're here all weekend, and then they head back to their jobs on Sunday night. It's a lot. My brother-in-law, Alan, is a Boston area native, and he has, since he met my sister, has been coming out weekends, and we've kind of transformed him into a sugar maker. He has a background of building maintenance, which is great for us because he definitely helps us take care of the building, the sugar house, and make sure everything's running smoothly. But one interesting thing he jokes about is he doesn't want people from the eastern part of the state to come out here and visit. He loves it out here so much that he wants to keep it a secret. But he knows that we need those people. We need the people from the Springfield, Hartford area coming up, visiting, coming up with their families. People from the Boston area coming out to visit the sugar house. It's great. We see the same families year after year. We watch the kids get bigger, and it's really special to have see the same people year after year just come back and really enjoy what we're doing there. Let's see here. So part of our deal at the sugar house is we always invite people in to see the boiling process. We encourage them to ask questions, and that's usually what I'm used to doing. I'll be in the evaporator room. We'll be bringing a group of people around, showing them how the evaporator works, telling them it takes 40 gallons of sap to make a gallon of syrup. This year it's actually probably closer to 60 to 70 gallons of sap to make a gallon of syrup. The sugar content in the sap this year has not been great, but we get what we get, and that's one of the kind of exciting things about sugaring. It's the first agricultural crop that we harvest, and I feel like it's more weather dependent than any other crop. So we can use greenhouses and high tunnels to extend seasons for vegetables. We can irrigate if it's too dry for some other crops. But sugaring, we need the change in temperature. We need warm days and cold nights, and we just don't have control of that. So we're really at nature's mercy as far as that goes. And sometimes it's a bummer in a year. Like we've had in 2008, I think we made just under 4,000 gallons of syrup. 2 years later, in 2010, we made just over 400 gallons of syrup. So you can see like the definite swings that the weather can throw us. Sorry, I'm used to answering questions and giving tours, not so much standing up here doing this, but it's all good. A definite one of the perks of my job at the sugar house is just meeting people, explaining the process. Another perk is definitely, probably the biggest perk is just being able to do the taste testing. It doesn't get much better than that. And I have 3 young sons that would agree. They're old enough to start to help around the sugar house, and my oldest likes to run the cash register. So we kind of let them do that a little bit. But they definitely love to do the taste testing. And my wife and I always joke that if we didn't have a sugar house, we'd probably go broke buying maple syrup for the kids. They have perfected a dish that we like to call pancake soup. So what it is you take a thick layer of syrup and then float your pancakes on top. So hopefully some of you did that this morning. Let's see. But yeah, that's about it as far as like history and whatnot. We invite people to visit. I think we're going to be open. This may be our last weekend boiling. Like I said, we're going to see if we get sap today or the next few days, and might be our last weekend boiling. Our sugar house will be open through April 7th. So anybody is more than welcome to pop in and have breakfast, or just check out the boiling process, or grab some syrup if you need it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chip. So we went and did a little bit of a promo before they opened this year, and it was school vacation week, so I brought 2 of my kids. And Chip let them tap a tree. So if you ask them, they are also part of the Williams family now. But I do want to point out, we had an opportunity to go up to Blue Heron, their maple sugar production in Charlemont this past week with some legislators. And it's important that we talk about agriculture and our farmers being on the front lines of climate crisis, that we include our sugar shacks and our maple syrup producers in that conversation, because one of the folks up there was saying that there's a pretty large producer in Vermont that actually was able to start in December this year, which isn't a good sign. So it's just important to keep that in mind. So on that note, I want to introduce Sabra Billings, who is with Adams Donuts. I don't really think I have to introduce Adams Donuts. I mean, if you live in Franklin County, you have had an Adams Donut, right? That is the rule. So I do want to say that if for whatever reason you are not a donut fan, do not miss their iced coffee menu, because after I took my kids and we made it rain maple syrup at Williams last Saturday, we stopped by Adams and I got the mint chocolate iced latte. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So please stop by and see Sabra and enjoy. I don't want to glaze over it. Sabra sprinkles love into every part of their business. So without further ado, welcome Sabra.
So I'm just going to set expectations. I'm probably going to be looking at my notes a little bit more than Robert or Chip did. It's been a long time since I've spoken in front of a group of people this big. So I'm Sabra, and I own Adams Donuts. And I'm just going to start off a little bit with some of the professional path that led me to Adams, because I'm a relatively new business owner, and it definitely has shaped my experience a bit. So I've worn a lot of hats during my professional career, and I've really been blessed to work within a 25-mile radius of Greenfield for my entire life. And despite a very hefty case of ADD, I've been fortunate to have a really interesting and rewarding career, which started out 29 years ago at Light Life Foods, where I started as a temp worker in the packing department. And that's when Light Life was still up by the fairgrounds, where New England Natural Bakers is today. And after close to 15 years in various roles there, I moved on to lead food operations for the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts. And after that, I kind of went full circle, ending back up at New England Natural Bakers in the building where I started my career with Light Life, which was really interesting. And speaking of sticky, while I was there, I bought hundreds of thousands of pounds of sugar and honey and maple syrup for the granola business there. And from there, I went to work for Commonwealth Dairy in Brattleboro, which is now Lactalis. And my responsibilities there included product management, logistics and customer service, and eventually project management for Lactalis's U.S. yogurt division. But then in the middle of a pandemic, my sister and I decided to buy a shuttered little donut shop. And I so embarked on the stickiest adventure of my career. We reopened Adams after its longest closure in its almost 70-year history in November of 2020. A day in the life of Adams was a suggested talking point, but just like my predecessors, it's a little bit hard to pin down because every day definitely is a little bit unique. Some days are stickier than others, for sure. Like those days when you forget to make sure that the 60-quart mixer is not on high speed when you turn it on and it's got full of powdered sugar. I have this story that I share about one of my final days of Lactalis before we finalized the purchase of Adams. And my logistics lead had just let me know that we had about $80,000 worth of yogurt tipped over inside of a truck that had just gotten rejected by Costco on the West Coast. And I said, I really can't wait until my problems are, we ran out of sprinkles. But I truly hadn't anticipated what a crazy whirlwind reopening Adams would be. How fast we would have to get really good at making a lot of donuts, or how important it would become for someone with my attention span to have multiple timers all over the shop to prevent burnt Danish. I hadn't known we would need 4 different types of sugar, or go through a couple 100 pounds of them every week, and that's a lot of stickiness. Multiple 60-pound batches of glazes and icings every single week. And this adventure of Adams has come with a lot of surprises, both good and sticky and not so good and sticky. For example, when you've got hundreds of donuts close to ready to being fried and the pilot light goes out on the fryer and you just can't get it relit. We've definitely thanked the donut gods for Arctic refrigeration on more than one occasion. But by and large, it's come with really wonderful surprises. I really can sum up my experience at Adams so far as just being really lucky to be part of the incredible sense of community that this little donut shop in Franklin County has facilitated over the years. And we've definitely done our best to nurture that, but the reality is Adams Donuts has been in the community since 1956. That's pretty rare and it's a pretty special thing. Adams Donuts are almost literally handfuls of happiness. I did try to trademark that, by the way, but I wasn't paying very good attention with my application, and I actually accidentally chose seafood as my brand category, so fizzled out pretty quickly. But yeah, we get to be the purveyors of thousands, literally thousands of sweet, sticky handfuls of happiness every week. And the best part about it is it comes right back to us. Adams is really, truly adored in Franklin County. We have been blessed receivers of gifts of all kinds, from donut-themed artwork and jewelry and aprons to baked beans from our neighbors next door. And we get regular deliveries of flowers and chocolate from our beloved Dr. Howard Nahenshaw. And it's really humbling to have customers come in and just thank us for being here, and that happens on a regular basis. And it's also wonderful to just be part of the Franklin County community, working with other local businesses that include Fogbuster Coffee Works, Our Family Farms, Diamond Farms, Clarkdale Fruit Farm, Winston Sugar House. And then there are so many local business and organizations that continue to support us by bringing our handfuls of happiness to their employees. Notably, Snows and Sons Landscaping, who definitely run on Adams and not Duncan in the spring and the fall. And also Stoneleigh Burnham School and many other local businesses who have placed, one or more large orders for their employees or recurring orders. There's a lot of small businesses that have weekly recurring orders as well. And I'd like to say if there are any HR managers out there, we definitely think that Adams Donuts are a really great alternative to the Don't Quit pizza at a lower cost per person. Just saying. And in turn, we kind of get to give back to the community regularly by donating donuts and gift cards to many fundraising events and nonprofit causes. So things might get sticky at times for us, but every day there are donuts. And donuts are fun. There's no doubt about that. And Adams Donuts helps cultivate a bit of community within Franklin County, and it really has been rewarding to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabra. Everyone's had an Adams donut, right? Okay. All right, good, great. And we have some to give away, even to those of you that are not participating in the fun game. So just wait. Our giveaway today is pretty good. All right, so finally we have Sandy Thomas and Hannah Rex-Shevin who are here to generate some buzz about Greenfield's upcoming annual Bee Fest. You may have noticed that we had originally planned to feature a honeymaker at this event, but I talked to 5 different apiaries and they all very politely told me to buzz off. It turns out they're busy little bees this time of year. So even though Hannah and Sandy don't make their own honey, we saw the pollen potential. And we knew they would, this one's really bad. We knew they would be keepers. So they're here to highlight Greenfield's unique relationship with honeybees and talk about the history of the Bee Fest. So without further ado, Sandy and Hannah.
Thank you, good morning. So to explain bees, I'm going to channel Paul Harvey. Anyone remember Paul Harvey? Yeah, the rest of the story. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So what is up with all the bees in Greenfield? There are bees on the town common crosswalk. There are bees flying from the lamppost from spring and summer. Bees are in the parking garage and the pocket park. And now folks are taking the detour for the bee tour with 12 beautiful sculptures downtown. You've probably seen them all. Yeah, they're terrific and they're ours. So roll the clock back 175 years when a curious young fellow named Lorenzo Langstroth moved to Greenfield. He came to be the headmaster of the Greenfield High School for Girls. Anyone know where that was? What? Prospect Hill? Nope, but you're close. It is now the McCarthy Funeral Home. And that had 2 huge wings on the outside of it. It was an enormous building. And he was headmaster. And then he also had another second profession, which was minister. And lo and behold, Second Congregational Church, right next to the McCarthy Funeral Home now, was in need of a minister. And they hired Lorenzo Langstroth to be that man. According to historical documents, he was a wonderful, generous, intelligent man. He studied at Yale, both education and ministry. And he had an unusual passion, one would even say obsession, with observing bee behaviors all his life. In 1946, the way that you would get honey is through a bee skep. Have y'all seen those? Yeah. So that's made of straw, and in order to get the honey out of that hive, you would have to destroy the whole hive. But he thought there was a better way. And with his keen powers of observation, he developed the movable frame beehive. Hang on. Frame. And so what he did was discover something very important called bee space. And that is the space that a bee needs to move within the hive to keep it clean, to make sure there's no diseases like varroa mites, which are a problem with the honey crisis right now, the honeybee crisis. And the space that you need is 3/16 of an inch between the hives. These frame hives are stacked next to each other with 3/16 of an inch between them. So this was a very revolutionary way to collect honey and to do beekeeping. And so those hives were made in Greenfield and later in Coleraine. There's a place that Judy Roberts lives up in Coleraine, and that was the site of the second beehive making. So here are some fun facts about that. Each frame has 3,500 cells in order to collect pollen, honey, nectar, and storage for egg laying. The queen can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. Yeah. Bees live for 15 to 35 days. That's it. A healthy hive, how many bees do you think are in a healthy hive? Take a guess. Shout it out.
900.
900.
10,000.
10,000, no, 60,000 bees are in a healthy hive, which is kind of cool. And how much honey does a bee make in its lifetime? Teaspoon's closer, 1/12 of a teaspoon. Yeah, that's how much a honeybee makes. So this jar, 700 bees to make this one jar of honey. Yeah, pretty important. And if you were to travel anywhere in the world, they are still using Langstroth hives. Every country uses Langstroth hives. Almost all beekeepers do. There's some variations, but that's the basic one. So because of his intense interest in bees, he's become known as the father of modern beekeeping. So now you know the rest of the story. So one way we honor Langstroth and his work is to hold Bee Fest. We have our 14th Bee Fest coming up. It's sited on the lawn of Second Congregational Church, very close to the farmers market. The expandable band, EBB, expandable brass band, thank you, comes up from Northampton every year wearing yellow and black costumes, mind you. They did that anyway. Richie Davis told me a couple years ago, we really need to be at your Bee Fest. And so they lead the kids through the farmers market to make that big connection between agriculture and honeybees for the children. So this year we also have hive painting. I have a beehive back in the, where you got your name tags. And we paint the outside of beehives now this year. And last year was the first time we did it. It was so popular, we ran out of hives. So we're trying to work with the beekeepers to get more hives this year. So it's first come, first serve. We have paints, go for it. It's really a lot of fun. We have music all morning this year. And right after the Bee Fest ends at 12:30, that part of it, we can go up to the fire station where we'll unveil a new firekeeper bee that we're thinking of calling Smokey the Bee. I don't know, what do you think? Yeah, it could work. It could work, that's still under discussion. So bees have all the attributes that we need for a hive mind. This morning, Phoebe Walker said, you know, we're here because we like to be connected. Sabre just talked about the community, and so did Chip, and so did Bobby, about the community that's needed to keep projects together. And that's what we do very well in Franklin County. And that's what we hope to put out there is that we all need to keep this hive mind of working together. And it's just a pleasure to live in this county that does that. So remember, if you like to eat, thank a bee. So we hope that you come to our Bee Fest on May 18th. And Hannah, please come up, because Hannah's going to talk about if you'd like to get a bee, how you might buzz on over and do that.
Yes.
Go for it.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Hannah Rexhoff. I'm the director of the Greenfield Business Association. And as Sandy said, May 18th is the 14th annual Bee Fest, and one of the best parts of it is that all of the lampposts in downtown Greenfield start to get their own little bee, and it has your business names on it. So people who are driving through Greenfield, which is a lot of people a day, will see your business name, and the money from the sale of the bee will support the Bee Fest. So you can reach out to me. You can go to greenfieldbusiness.org. And you can also email me at gba.fortgreenfield@gmail.com. Did I say that right? And the other thing that I just want to give a little plug for, and you will be hearing from me, you will be hearing from me by email, is we would love to see the week leading up to Bee Fest be really festive in Greenfield and beyond. So if there's something you want to do in your business, highlight something. I mean, it can be anything from like yellow and black trucks out in front of Toyota. That was a great idea that Jess had. Or it can be featuring a nice honey cocktail at the restaurant. Whatever works with your business, we would love to just create a buzz. So get thinking about it. I'm going to follow up with you. You know, Greenfield, just like Sandy talked about and everyone talked about here, it's important that the hive was invented here, and it's important that we're all here this morning working together and being connected, because that's how we all take our business forward. We do it every day. So this is just one little way. You're going to buy your bee sign. It's going to be really cute. And yeah, did I say it all? I think I did. Thank you.
Great. How great were they? So I will tell you, in the conversations that I had with the beekeepers, they said, well, we can't be there. We're too busy. but this is what we would say. So I feel like I have learned more about honey production in the last 4 weeks than I ever would have imagined. And it really, I mean, Sandy brought up so many great points. It is a critical part of Franklin County's history and something we should really cherish and celebrate. So if you can be involved with Bee Fest, please do. So thank you again to our sticky speakers, to All States Materials Group for their support, and to Drew at GCTV, hello Drew, for taping today's breakfast. Tape is sticky. Thanks also to Abaz and the team, to Mary and Sarah and our volunteers who are the glue that hold these breakfasts together. Is anyone keeping track of the puns at this point? All right. So, who's ready? Who's ready to see if they won? Does anyone want to go first? Yusuf?
17.
Close.
13.
Ted?
13.
So close. Regina?
12.
So close.
16.
16, 11?
14.
14, Jonathan. That's right. It felt like 100. So I don't know whether to be, well, I'm going to choose to be really proud that there were so many puns today that were not mine. I think that shows real progress, so thank you. All right, so now we're going to do a way less funny raffle. So while we're getting that set up, I do want to make note that we are just rich with giveaways today. So Tom Glazier is here from Mosquito Joe of Greenfield Pittsfield. And while we were here, what you missed is that we were actually also on the radio talking about all the great work they do around spraying for mosquitoes and insects and all of the critters that you don't necessarily love to have around your lawn. I think it's important that I mention it is environmentally friendly, and they have the silver standard for bee protection. So they are green lighted. They are great to have. But you can win a free barrier spray. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to our Facebook page. You're going to like us. You're going to like Mosquito Joe of Greenfield Pittsfield, and then you're going to share it. And then I added one thing, Tom, I didn't tell you. You have to comment your favorite bee, your favorite bug emoji. So that is live right now on our Facebook page, so please do that if you want to win a barrier spray. All right, so the first raffle prize we have is going to be a box of 12 donuts from Adams. Want to hold that up? So that number is 5943835. Oh, Ted! Congratulations, Ted. All right, we have one more box of donuts, and that is 5943833. 594. Oh, Dylan won! Dylan met the Easter Bunny. He got a box of donuts. He is coming to work with Dad every day. All right. Dylan, living his best life. All right. I want a 5-star Google review for the chamber from Dylan by this night. All right. So next we have a Williams Farm maple syrup donated by All States Materials Group. You can see their logo is on it, and that is 5943742. Yay! Great. All right, we have one more of those, and that's 5943781. 5943781. Oh my God, what a lucky table. We also have a candle from Yankee Candle. It is strawberry bunny shortcake. That's cute. And that's 5943753. Oh, Chris, great. Great job. Chris Thompson from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western Mass. We have 2 more prizes. We have a paddle voucher for Billy Goat Boats in Orange, and that was generously donated by Jerry Wayland, and that's 594-3762. We'll get that for you after. I think Marion might have it in the back. And then this is a last minute submission. Yusuf was kind enough to offer to raffle off 2 tickets to Margarita Madness through the Amherst Area Chamber of Commerce. And Yusuf, that's April 5th? 4th. Oh, so close. April 4th. If you have not been to Margarita Madness, it's so fun. It is really fun. So that number is 594-3793. Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. 594-3803. You went? Oh, good. All right, great. We'll grab you those tickets after, so you'll connect with Yusuf. Yusuf, could you wave? Perfect, so you'll connect after. All right, so that is it for today. Thank you so much to our speakers. Thank you again to All States Materials Group. Please tuck in your strings to your name tags and return them to Marion. We'll see you in April.